Good morning viewers, and welcome back to my channel. Mixed Masdevallias here. It's the 1st of March 2018. Spring is just around the corner in about 3 weeks time. So let's go inside and have a look at the mazzies. It's a bit too cold out here for me. Then I can clean this roof off and get rid of some of this snow. See you in a minute. Well, we're in the greenhouse now, and a little bit warmer. So let's go and have a look at the mazzies. Just remember that I am a beginner. I've only been growing these Masdevallias for 16 months, actually 17 now. I started in November 2016 with 3 plants. Sologeny cristata and 2 mazzies. That's what I started with, and I'm building my collection up so I can show you on YouTube how I go on as a beginner with Masdevallias. Well, I'm going to try and do a short video today just to let people know how I started, how I'm going on, and what I've learned so far. We've got 7 degrees at the moment in here, 52 humidity. Not the ideal temperature, but probably a little cold for these mazzies, but they're surviving okay. But what I wanted to say was, when you first start with Masdevallias, like me, you're unsure of what you need, what to get. So I thought I'd just run through how you start off with these Masdevallias. And when I keep saying beautiful Masdevallias, they are beautiful Masdevallias. They're part of the orchid family. I like the Masdevallia genera, and I like to grow cool to cold. Now when you first get a Masdevallia, you're going to get a division. That's somebody who's took a division off a mother plant or a specimen sized plant, and they're selling it on to you so you can add it to your collection. Well, not everybody out there is legit and honest, so pick your suppliers who you prefer to use and make sure that you're getting value for money. Now I would say, and I've been told from local people I use in the local area, members of the Orchid Society, people off the Orchid forums, is when you're buying a Masdevallia, you need a division that's got probably 5 or 6 leaves. Something like this, for instance. This Pascha Ahura is a division. You can see, I'm hoping you can see, it's got new growths on it. It's got 2, 4, 6, about 8 leaves. That is what you'd want as a division. Something like these 2 here that's only got 3 leaves on are my own divisions, what I've took off my own plants. I'll grow them on until they've got about 6 leaves. Then I don't sell my Masdevallias. What I do, I tend to swap them with other growers for a species or hybrid that I haven't got. But I got caught in the past. Some people take a division, put it on eBay or put it on a selling page, and the roots aren't established. They'll wrap it in sphagnum moss and sell it you, and you've got to bring it on to keep that plant alive. And if you complain with something, it's always your culture. They'll blame your culture and say that you overwatered it, underwatered it, your humidity wasn't right, your temperature wasn't right. They'll never admit that they sold you a division that wasn't ready to sell. So the only bit of advice I'm giving you is, when you buy a division, get a decent division. get something that's got 5 or 6 leaves and signs of new growth. Don't get something that's only got a couple of leaves like this Pariana here. That's one of my divisions. So is that Attentilata. That's one of my divisions. Now I will grow them on. They're not for swapping or for selling at this moment, but I certainly wouldn't buy them. And when you first start buying your Masdevallias, you want to be paying in the UK between £10 and £25 a division. Do not pay any more. I've been to a specialist orchid centre, garden centre, and I've seen specimen sized plants for sale between £40 and £60. Now as a beginner, I don't think you should be buying them because, like me, if you can't look after them, then you could lose them, and that's a lot of money to lose. So when you first start out, get a good supplier, get people that you can trust, that you can speak to on the phone, you can email, and they'll give you all the information that you need to help you grow these Masdevallias. And I've met a lot of people on YouTube and orchid societies and on the orchid forums who are willing to help a beginner, and there's a lot of people out there. So if you've got any questions, just go and ask them, email them, you'll get the information you want. And people are too helpful in the orchid community. They want you to succeed as well, so bear that in mind. Now the setup I've got at the moment, when I said I started with 3 plants, I did 2 Mazzies and my Coleogyne cristata. I had them in a lean-to greenhouse. In the middle of last year I bought this greenhouse and started putting in my Masdevallias and building a collection up of both hybrid and species. At this moment in time I've got the large fan, the heater that's also a circulating fan. I've got a small portable fan, and it's all bubble wrap like I said in a previous video. Since then I've bought a fogger which I use in here, and I couldn't get a humidistat which was already wired, so I actually seen this on YouTube. I don't know why that's flashing on this video, because on the actual system it's not flashing, but I seen that on eBay, sorry, at £45, and I thought that's a bit dear, I'm not buying that. But the Inkbird humidity and temperature controller is plug and play. On the end of one of them leads is one plug that goes into the socket, and on the other end is 2 sockets, one to the cooling fan and one to the humidity fogger. Now I thought that was a lot of money, so I looked around and I found one on Amazon for £35. I thought, well, I'm going to get that. That's just what I need. Plug and play, humidity and temperature control, just what I need. When I clicked on it, guess what? Out of stock, and they don't know when it's coming back in. So I'd have to wait a little bit longer to get one. But a few weeks later I was coming through Leicester and my daughter phoned me to say, Dad, can you pick up some substrate for the tortoise enclosures? So I looked on my phone, found a pet shop, pulled into a reptile pet shop, picked up the substrate to go to pay for it, and I noticed Inkbird temperature controls, humidity and temperature, and guess what? £27. So I bought it and it's working fine. I have the humidity set at 50% during the winter, and the temperature for the big fan is set at 25. So if the greenhouse does get up to 25, the big fan comes on. But the weather we're getting at the moment, I doubt that very much. But when I said in my previous videos I'd show you my blooms, what I have in these Masdevallias, this is a cristata, Coleogyne cristata, and as you can see it's starting to bloom at this moment in time. I've still got another spike coming out, and I've got four spikes in total. This is a lovely little plant. I had it from the start. It was in spike when I first got it in 2016 in the November, and it flowered this year. I've brought it on. It's got a few more pseudo bulbs and it's bloomed for me, and I'm really impressed, because as a beginner sometimes you struggle, but yeah, I'm impressed with myself. I'll give myself a pat on the back for that. I've actually got it to bloom. But I did ask the seller, a local lady who does grow cool to cold and's got a lot of Masdevallias and a lot of Coleogenes. I asked her about the rest period, or the winter rest, or the reduction of water in a winter. I said, because I've looked at YouTube and there's a lot of conflicting evidence and people saying different rest periods for these sort of plants. And she said, if you want that to bloom, Mick, all you've got to do is stop watering and feeding the 1st, let me get this right, the 1st of October, and start watering again at the 1st of December. So it's got 2-month rest period. That's 8 weeks in total. And she said, when you start watering again, because it's still in a winter period, just give it a drizzle. I said, what do you mean by a drizzle? She said, like you're drizzling olive oil in a frying pan. Just drizzle the water around just to moisten the roots, and that will bloom every year. So I did that, and lo and behold, it has bloomed. So sometimes always ask the supplier or your seller about your Masdevallias and your orchids that you're buying, because they're the best people to tell you what feed to use, how to water them, what temperatures they like, and how to keep them. Now, to say it's the middle of winter, the fog has just come on. So as you can see, obviously the humidity's dropped below 50, the fog has come on, that won't be on long, it'll take it back up. But I'll just give you another show of these Masdevallias, and I hope that more people put Masdevallias on YouTube, because I can't find a lot of channels dedicated to Masdevallias, or any help for Masdevallia beginners. There's a lot of orchid growers who's got Masdevallias in their collection, but I'd like to see more channels like this where people show more Masdevallias, how to keep them, their collections, and how they're going. But if we want to look at this Exquisita Mary, it's a hybrid, it's in bloom at this moment in time. A lovely little orchid. I hope you can see that, and I hope the picture quality is pretty decent. But a lovely little orchid that's in bloom this time of year. I've got an Ignia here with a flower spike. I can't take the credit for that. I recently bought that Ignia off Keith. It had a flower spike and we both thought it would blast, but as you can see, it's starting to open. So I'll put that on another video when it comes round. Now all of these Masdevallias are showing signs of new growth. They've all got decent roots at the moment. My Restrepia's coming on. They're all still growing. Like people say, Masdevallias grow all year round. If you look closely at this copper wing, you can see a spike just there. That's spiking. There's new growths down the bottom and possibly more spikes. So for all you people who are thinking about Masdevallias, give it a go. Give them a go. You know, you can learn a lot from this YouTube channel, and I've learned a hell of a lot from watching people on YouTube. So I want to see more people showing me their Masdevallias. I've got new growths coming up on this one as well, and I think it's about time I went outside now and cleared the snow off this greenhouse. But firstly, one of the ladies that I buy my Masdevallias off, I went to the week and bought a couple more to add to my collection, a couple of hybrids. She gave me a Dendrobium kingianum, which had some buds, and it's flowered. A lovely little plant, and thank you very much. I won't mention your name, I won't say where you are, but you are in the East Midlands and you are a member of an orchid society, and that's a lovely plant, and I thank you. And as I did say to you at the time, every time I do a video I will show you that plant to make sure you know I've still got it. Well, YouTubers and viewers, thanks for looking. Please give us a thumbs up, a like, or even give us a thumbs down if you're not interested. But most of all, I really could do with some people subscribing, so I can push this channel on and show more people these beautiful mazzies as are coming to flower and coming to bloom. So until next time, I'll leave you with this Exquisita Miri, a hybrid. It's a complex hybrid, so it's a cross and it's been crossed again. So there is beautiful flowers in here. Please subscribe to this channel. Please give me some feedback if you think I'm doing things wrong or you think I'm doing things right. Let me know. But I'll leave you now with my favourite, my Coleogyne cristata, that's coming on a treat. So until next time, YouTube, thanks for watching. Catch you all again on the next one. Bye for now.